sorry guys, so we had to take a short break because we were crying. But like I said, the reason why I'm sharing what I'm sharing is maybe for parents out there who are going through a difficult time with their child, you know, or you yourself, you're going through something difficult and you want to know, like, will it ever end? Will I feel like this forever? You know, even if you're caught in like unhealthy coping methods, I want to make sure I can give you guys some hope, because I've been there, I've done that, I've almost given up, but I didn't. And it's thanks to this lady over here and God, to be honest, you know. Yeah.
So you were saying that
I was saying
that you thought?
I was saying, you know, I became so delusional. Like I became, because I've seen God take away my one parent. Like what's to say he's not just going to take away my other parent? I promise you, I honestly started to mourn you when you were alive. Like I'd look at you and I just, even I don't want to get closer to you, because I literally thought you were going to die, you know? And that's just another thought. So you can imagine all these thoughts that are going through my head. I didn't have a sane thought. There was nothing that I was thinking that was normal, you know. I wasn't thinking about my happiness, you know. I was just in the pits. And that is where depression will take you low, you know. Depression will take your mind and it will turn it into your worst enemy. So all of these people who you see are going through depression, or you wonder why someone like killed themselves, it's because their mind turned on them, you know. Their mind wanted to kill them. And I think that's the devil as well, you know. How the devil sees any opportunity to kill, steal or destroy, he's going to take that opportunity. And for me, I truly believe that I was an easy target for the devil at that point. My faith wasn't strong. I was kind of mad at God for taking my father away, you know. I was not praying to him because I had given up faith. My faith was shaky. You know, I felt like he abandoned me, God, you know.
I think that's just, it's a sad thing to hear.
Yeah.
Like, anyone can be in that kind of state, because I don't even want to imagine how I can feel like that, you know? And until you have talked to somebody, like you know, you're very open about your feelings.
Yeah.
And maybe now, because before, really, you never used to talk, you never used to really go down deep into what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, your everything that you did or said was like, you guys, I am blaming you for not giving me a chance to say good. I mean, that was your main, you know.
Yeah.
And it used to be very hard to understand. I mean, we've said sorry. We have apologized because we didn't want, it wasn't intentional. We wish that you were there, or we wish that we had given you the opportunity. But we were like, why don't you just get over this? I mean, why are you being just so adamant with this one thing? Is that the only thing that is destroying your life? You know?
Yeah.
So for me, I even used to get very angry.
Yeah, we got into...
I used to get so angry at you, because I'm thinking, you think I've never lost anybody in my life. I've lost my mother. You think that was not loss enough? Why are you behaving like this, you know? So I can say I got angry very many times.
Yeah.
At you for not just snapping out of this thing. Because for me, I'm thinking, death is death. Okay, death is death. Yeah. But why is it that this...
I can't move on from it. Yeah.
You know. And I think with every every year or every time something happened, it was worse than the other. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this girl, you know. And sometimes I would think, is there anything else that is bothering you
Yeah.
apart from this, that you just want to peg whatever it is that you're feeling just on this particular death?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And of course there was, but that's not something really to go into.
Yeah. So for me, I can say it took a long time to try and understand you, because I didn't even want to put myself in your shoes. But there are times I wished I could take away your pain, because me, I'm a fix it all.
Yeah.
I can fix things.
Yeah.
And I could pray to God, and I'm like, why don't you just give me this burden so that she can have some peace? But it really wasn't. It's not possible.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I can say it was draining.
Yeah. Yeah. It was draining for me too.
It was draining for
Yeah.
me because I didn't know what to expect the next time. I mean, there are days I lived not knowing that tomorrow will come.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I was always on the edge.
You were always on the edge.
Yeah.
And I had just to be so, and like we were saying before, I had to be so careful about how I speak to you, what I do to you, how, I will try and make you happy, but it was so short-lived.
Yeah.
Because you always went back to
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
state of mind.
Yeah. And what I think it is, you see, when you curse God and you're angry with God and you shut off that communication, unfortunately He will leave. God is not somebody. God is not going to force himself on you. You know what I mean? They always say, if you feel like God is far away, it's you who needs to move closer. He's always been there. But when you're not even wanting to be in His presence, then you're going to be in darkness. You automatically choose. I didn't want anything to do with God. And I'm telling you, that is the reason why I was the way I was. I feel like if I had an understanding of God like I do now, then I would have gone to Him sooner.
So maybe even I did not have an understanding of God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
In a level where
we put doctors before God. We put. But like you were saying.
Yeah, you said it. I mean,
Yeah.
like, looking back now, I feel like I also wasn't in that position where, even if I used to cry to God, but I did not have a deep understanding
Yeah.
of how I needed to surrender
Yeah. Yeah.
to Him.
Yeah.
But I did not have time to surrender to Him because I needed to fix you.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I can't spend my whole day in prayer
Yeah.
hoping for a miracle,
Yeah. Yeah.
which I think was wrong.
I think it was wrong also for me. I know it was wrong now because after many, many years, when I did decide to surrender, I felt instant peace like this. Immediately I felt peace. And this is someone who has not felt peace in 8 years.
Before we get to your 8 years,
Yeah.
the journey between 2016 and 2024,
Yeah.
what made you leave?
Live. You and my brothers. Yeah, that's it. That's it. And it must have been God didn't want me to go. Because if it was up to me, I think I'd have checked out a long time. You know, people, let me tell you what's so funny. You know, every time when my birthday used to come around and people used to tell me more life, I used to be like, don't tell me more life, less life. Like, I don't want to be here. What do you mean more life? That thing used to disturb me. You know.
I think the first time Guardian experienced you, although when we met, I mean, it's not those things that you open up to someone.
Not the first thing you tell. You don't
open up to somebody and say, I have a daughter who's crazy.
You know, you'd have run away so fast. Even, in fact, it's a good thing we didn't get introduced for. Just you gave him a bit of time to fall in love.
You know,
I think you have to trap him.
You know, it's not those things that you meet up somebody and you're like, by the way, let me warn you, I have a daughter who is crazy.
And by the way, guys, I was actually crazy because I can just decide I'll do something and I'll do it immediately.
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
I was spontaneous. I was out here like, cool, let's go to, go to Naivasha, let's go.
Yeah.
I can just disappear like I was crazy.
Yeah, so I was saying, and I was hoping, like, I think the first year when we met, I was hoping, like, oh God, please protect me. Let this guy not see the wild side that he's,
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh God, this guy will leave so fast.
No, yeah, for real. Yeah.
But I think when you had an episode once, and Guardian was there, and I remember he was so, because it also took me a long time to even explain to him what was going on with you, because even I didn't know. Because I think anything I told him was very negative. Like, I don't understand what this girl's problem is. So, whatever it is that I said to him was not anything positive. It was in a negative way, because I was frustrated.
And we were always fighting.
Yeah, we were always fighting. I was frustrated. I'm like, I've tried to fix this girl. She's like, she just wants to live in the same place where she has been all these years. But I remember one time you were in hospital and we came to visit. And Guardian saw you, and
he walked out of the room and he was crying.
Out of the room,
I remember. And me, I'm like, why is he crying? This is just a normal thing. This is just a normal small thing, Because what happens, by the way, sometimes when you drink and you hear people saying they have gastritis. Most times that gastritis is because of drinking. A lot of people won't say. But that's probably that. I probably had gastritis.
Yeah, because you see, for me, when you go to hospital, you admit yourself in hospital. So I'm not going to go asking the doctors, what is wrong with this person?
Yeah.
And if I do, I am told it is gastritis.
Yeah.
Okay. What has caused gastritis?
It can be many things.
It can be many things.
Yeah.
But you are the one who knows.
Yeah, of course I know.
The cause.
Yeah.
Me, I am just there to support you.
Yeah. And I think I'd also just like, I think even one of the things, like, I think my body was also just getting tired, always in fight or flight, like it. And another thing I want to say, a lot of people would think maybe I was drinking every day. No, I would go to work Monday to Friday, but Friday to Sunday, then I was out. And that's why when someone asks me, like, do you think it's probably addiction? And I'm like, I'm not an addict. Like, I don't need to drink every day to survive, Because that's what I thought addicts, like, people who would be addicts, or people who, like, they need to drink every single day. But what I was told is, like, it's not about how much you drink, but what happens when you drink. So when they told me that, I'm like, oh, it's about what happens. And obviously, nothing good was ever happening. because either I'll get so emotional, I'll break down. You know, it's just crazy things. I was not the fun person, you know, to be around, maybe once in a while, but 9 times out of 10, it was some drama, you know. And I think for me, I still even saw things get worse, because remember, I think it was maybe in 2022, no, probably like 2018. I managed to get one of the rarest things that can ever happen to you. I mean, I came home and my stomach really hurt, and I was like, something is wrong, I'm dying, and I was screaming the whole night.
And I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, and you're
And
like, you're probably just had dramas.
Yeah.
And then when I ended up going to hospital, and they actually told me it was something called an ovary torsion, which happens to 1 in like 300,000 people. It's when one ovary basically curls itself up and dies, and you have to go into emergency surgery to remove it, and it's a whole dangerous thing.
Yeah.
And I remember, how was that for you? Like,
I mean, you know, because you had so many things. I mean, everything that was happening to you was
Bad.
It was just dramatic.
Yeah.
So you know, I didn't know whether you were looking for attention, whether you were, you know, it's just one of those things that you just want to start up, you know. So until you went to hospital, and I was told, that is when I'm like, oh my God, it's actually, and it has nothing to do with alcohol.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
You know, so you see, a lot of us, especially if you're dealing with somebody who's going through depression and has gone through like episodes that you have gone through, something serious could be happening to them.
Yeah.
But because of the constant dramatic episodes you've had,
yeah, for sure. How do you know that this is not one of them? Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And it was something that was actually life-threatening, and it was.
Yeah.
So when I say I think the devil was on my back, it was really trying to kill me, because all I saw was just everything getting worse, you know. And I remember I got it in my head like, oh my God, now I can never have kids. Now this is something horrible. And they're like, no, you can. It's just something that it can happen. Of course, it's bad, but
Yeah, I think there's a question I asked you and you really fully didn't answer it. Like from 2016 to 2024, who are you?
it's a great question. Who was I? I have no idea, but I was not guilty. That's what I know. Because I can't even look back and identify who that person was, you know? I just feel sorry for her, like it was so bad. But I can't say who I was. But I just know that person needed God. Like, that's it. I was spiraling.
Did you ever feel like you didn't get the support you needed? Did you feel like some of us failed you? Did you feel like you needed to replace us in your life?
No. I don't think it was ever that. You know, when it came to about me being angry, you know, when it comes to grief, there are like 7 stages of grief. And for me, you go through all of them and you don't even realize, but anger is one of them. And for me, I stood on anger for a while, you know. But you still go through all of them. Even you yourself, you went through it and you went through anger, but sometimes it takes longer to go through the stages of grief. And for me, I finished grieving last year. I think that's what it was. The cycle was done last year. So that is crazy, that you can really grieve for 8 years. You know, that's what I think it is. I was grieving, but not until I let it go, because I had to surrender. You know, and for me, that is the biggest thing. That's what I can encourage everybody to do: surrender to God. Because my life has just gotten so much better. You know, it has gotten to the point that I cannot believe who I am. You know, And mind you, I was doing all
Before-
of this while
be-
still accomplishing great things, you know.
Yes, yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because you see, with also your kind of career,
Yeah.
and what you like to do
Yeah.
for a living,
Yeah.
you are a person who is very outgoing.
Yeah.
Like you want to be out there doing great stories. You
Yeah.
want to be, you want to be seen.
Hmm.
But I guess a lot of people
It's a
who
mask.
you were working with didn't even know that you
Yeah.
had this kind of struggles.
Yeah, I think the only one who could have maybe guessed is Laura. Laura, if you're seeing this, I love you, because she used to tell me, like, in the break, she'd be like, "You were shaking before the cameras went on," and I would. It got to a point that I was having anxiety attacks, and an anxiety attack feels like your heart is caving in. It feels like a heart attack, basically. I felt like you're going to faint. And I remember there was a time I used to get an anxiety attack every single day at 6 p.m. So I would literally get home, call an Uber to take me to the hospital because I knew I was going to have that. And sure enough, every single day. So by the time I got to hospital, the anxiety attack was over. But can you imagine? This is the kind of things that I'm going through, because you feel like you're going to die. And you can't breathe, you know. So every day I knew, and this lasted for about like 2 weeks.
Why?
Because anxiety, I think anxiety is when everything hits you at once and your body just can't cope. Everything that you've been suppressing and suppressing and suppressing, masking, you know, all of these things, it will just hit you at once, and it's maybe your body just trying to process it, but it hits you and you can't, you know. For me, I used to feel like I was going to faint. I was running out of
But
breath.
doesn't that mean that you spent a lot of your life being tired?
I was so tired. I was so tired, and yet I couldn't
Because
sleep.
that's a lot.
Yeah. I was tired and I could not sleep, as you know. I
Yeah.
was on, I mean, I had to be on medication to sleep. So all I'm saying is I was not really living, you know. But I think I masked it well, because I still managed to have a great career, which is, you know, like, I was in Citizen, I was in, you know, like, I was managing all these things. But I would go to the bathroom and have a panic attack, you know. Or I'd go home and I'd just, I need to relax. So it was just, I was always heavy.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, when listening to you now and even watching, seeing you now,
Yeah.
and looking back, and because every day, I mean, it's like, let's say it's like you're shooting a movie. Every day
Yeah.
you have a different scene.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, okay, acting is roles that you're playing because you've been given a script
Yeah.
to act. But this is your daily life.
Yeah,
Wasn't
it's my
that
real life.
tiring?
It was the
like
worst.
I'm saying.
How I did not, I don't know. To be honest with you, I got so used to it being my life that I knew my life was going to have to end at some point. Like, there was no way I was going to keep doing this. You were going to crash, you know? So I was just waiting for the final crash out to happen. And I was waiting for it, and I was like, I had made peace with it. Like, this is going only one way, you know? Because I remember I'd have to, even like just to leave the house, I needed to take like an anxiety medication. It was a lot. Like, you would talk to me and I would shake, you know, sometimes. So I think, I don't know if that is sometimes a period of life where God is really, I don't know if he's testing you or what exactly it was that I was going through, but I was in my wilderness season, you know? And I can confidently say God is not going to put me through that again, because like, I think it's over and it's done. But I have so much knowledge now, and that's why I went through this, is because I have so many people that I need to help. There's so many people who are taking their lives, and there's so many parents who have given up, and I have to be that voice, you know. I remember seeing a lady on TikTok who was like, you know, I just want, if you're thinking about ending your life, like, just hold on, it gets better. And I was looking at her like, it will never get better. But I can promise you that it does get better. Like, it will definitely get better. And it will be better than you ever expected, you know. Sometimes I feel like I'm living like a dream right now. And only because I have peace. Because I didn't have peace for a very long time.
And talking about peace, I think, you know, when, as human beings, when you're living, sometimes you ignore the smallest things
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah.
You know, I look at a lot of people sometimes who will throw words at me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
you know, guys, I think the greatest gift after life which God gives you
Yeah.
is a peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Yeah.
And a lot of us take that for granted, thinking that just because you have no problems, which I don't think there's no human being who
Yeah.
has no problems,
Yeah.
but there are greater problems than problems.
Yeah.
Having that peace of mind where, especially now, having gone this through with you, I mean, gone through this with you
Yeah.
for the last, how many years?
Very many. Yes. Very many. Yeah.
I now truly understand the value of a peaceful mind. Where where your mental state is at peace
Yeah.
with, even just being at peace with yourself. Because you can be fighting all these things as a human being and you don't even know how to get out of it.
Yeah.
Because for you, you see, it's not that you owe anybody any money. You know, there are those problems that we have as human beings where you're full of debts because, you know, yani,
Yeah.
you
don't have
can't,
rent.
yes, you don't have rent, you don't have food,
Yeah.
you don't have this, you don't have this, you don't have this. But mental health,
Yeah.
even when they say wealth is the greatest wealth, health is the greatest wealth.
Yeah.
A mental, a healthy,
A clear mind.
a clear mind or a healthy mental state.
Yeah.
If you have none, if you don't have it,
Whew.
you're a shell.
Even if you have the most money in the world, if you don't have peace of mind, that is just going to be a factor to drive you deeper into problems. The money, you know, nothing good can come if you don't have peace of mind. Everything else is not a blessing.
So Gilda, now let me be the one to ask you this. So what happened?
What do you mean?
What happened for you to be where you are?
I think first of all is listening to you. Listening to you, and I think God was ready to show me who He is, and I was ready. I had tried everything else, but truly surrendering to God was something that I didn't do, and so I literally got on my knees, and
Can you
said,
just tell us? I want you to take us, because this part for me in this whole journey is very important, because it got to a point after everything that you went through, and because, you know, you being an adult, I let you choose how to treat yourself. I let you go and see the doctors that you want to see.
yeah,
As much as I will intervene, and I feel like I don't think the medication you're taking is good for you because it has all these side effects. You know, because I could tell, you know, I mean, I could tell you are not where
yeah,
you are supposed to be.
yeah,
And I asked you, please, Because now I could tell you are getting to the point where you are now totally just tired.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to. So what it is hitting rock bottom. That's what happened to me.
Yeah.
I hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
And it was very necessary. Like, so I encourage people to try rock bottom, as much as.
But
it
can
sounds,
everyone survive rock
no,
bottom?
No. So you might not survive it, but for me, thank God I survived it. Which is something that I'm just so thankful to God. But hitting rock bottom, when you hit rock bottom, you have nowhere but to look but up. And I think that's when I felt the presence of God. Actually, what I can say is I felt the hand of God in my life.
I look at the scenes of that day, and I remember sitting with you in the car. And I was telling myself, this cannot happen again.
It won't even, yeah.
And I said to God, please, God, just allow me this one. I kept saying to myself, because you're very stubborn also, and you see, being an adult, you can decide, Mom, I don't need your help.
Yeah.
But I remember sitting in this car with you, and I was just looking at you, and I said to God, I'm not going to give her a choice. It is either my way or the highway. I mean, for me, I was ready. If you're not going to accept my help, then I just let you go. And not letting you go, as in go, but now let me see what you can do.
Yeah.
Not knowing very well that I know what you're capable of doing, which I was never going to forgive myself.
Yeah.
But I had to use that as a threat.
Yeah.
Because I also knew you needed me.
Yeah.
And I said to you, Gilda, please allow me just this one last time, just to help you. My way.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work.
You've done everything.
If it doesn't work, God, I will say I did my best.
Yeah.
And when you accepted, I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You had me.
Yeah. Wow, I honestly think when I look back, I think it's just, like I said, God. And that's why so many people, they ask me, like, Gilda, you've changed so much, Like, now I'm so interested in getting closer to God, I'm more involved in church. I'm
Okay, now I'm
always
going to pull
reading.
this thing because
The
I've
eyelash.
tried and it has...
It's okay, we tried, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So people are like, you really changed, I used to be I used to be a little bit more different. And they're like, you've totally changed. And I'm like, I'm saved, I'm literally saved. And I used to wonder what people used to say when they say they're saved, Me, I was literally saved, so I understand it differently. And I don't know why it took so long, but I'm not going to dwell on that. I think what I'm going to do is be grateful, that my story was a different story. I think that's the most important thing. And I am like the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I know great things are about to happen in my life. And I can feel that so strongly. And I don't know.
So what did you do differently?
Like I said, okay, I decided, first of all, I stopped drinking alcohol. Alcohol is not in my life anymore. I think it's been like 10 months since I've actually even had a drink. Why? Because you can't, something that you use as a crutch, is never going to help you. You know, they say take your suffering straight the way it is sober. So staying sober, and like I said, I think I am just now, I don't have so much pressure on how my life should look.
So when did you come to the realization that the things that were holding you back, or the things that you so much put your weight on, how did you solve that? You know, like the
It was
burden that you
getting
were...
the right help, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, it was getting the right help, because I had one session with my therapist, and he asked me, like, first of all, he said, what is it that you miss a lot about your dad? And everything that I listed is everything that I have in my life, you know. And whether it's the security, I have security. Whether it's love, I have love. Whether it's a figure, I have guardian, you know, I have you. So I realized that I was used to one thing one way, but you can turn and look at life in a different way. It was just a different outlook on life. That's exactly what changed. So I just decided to take it, to be happy with my life. That's what it is. And love myself, because I didn't love myself for a long time. So yeah. That's what it is. And I think a lot of people were going to be shocked to kind of see this, and for me to kind of share this story. But I wanted this platform to be not a platform of fakeness, and how great our lives are, and how amazing things are. Like, no, people are suffering, you know. Life is hard. People are going through it. And if you need to understand that it will get better, that's the most you can give. If you can give people hope that it will get better, I promise you, then at least I know I have been obedient to God, because this is what He put on my heart to share. And that is the reason why I decided I wanted to share my story, because so much more greatness is going to come, and I want to be a living testament. And that's why I see myself. But I had to tell you who I was so that you can know who I am.
Yeah, and I know we've been really struggling with this
Episode. We put it off so many times, yeah.
Because, you know, knowing the kind of society that we live in, people will always judge you from saying your truth.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you had this strong conviction in you that you needed to at least tell your story. Because I know many people will look at you and think, oh, Gilda, you've had the best life, but they don't know what the struggles you've had to go.
I had a pretty good mask, but
yeah,
yeah.
And it's important just for people to know.
Yeah. And so that's why I wanted this platform to be for us guys, you know, us guys who are trying to get better, trying to heal. Yeah. This is what I want that platform to be. So next week, actually, I'm going to sit down with my therapist, and I want you guys to inbox me or DM me anything that you want to tell, anything that you want to speak about, and I will bring it to a professional. I trust him. He's the best, and I'll be able to help you guys. I'll talk about that more on my Instagram, but I just want you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a completely different episode. I'm a bit nervous for it to air.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
You did it.
Thank you. But I thank you guys so much, and let's talk in the comment section.
And it's dear mama.
I love you. I love you.
I love you too.
Woo!